Well, finally I get to it. What is it exactly? I was challenged to do the 40 questions. Although, I think there were only 38 given, so I'm going to make some up. Regardless, I'm here. Finally did it. YouTube did not alert me that anybody tagged me. And then had a few delays in getting it filmed. So here, let's start. Without further delay. Number 1. Do you like blue cheese? Cheese? No, not a bit. I do like a lot of cheeses. I like Jarlsberg and Cabot Farm Seriously Sharp Cheddar, and a lot of things like horseradish cheddar or chipotle cheddar. Those are yummy. But blue cheese, no. Don't like ranch sauce either, or dressing, whichever you want to call it. That smell of it makes me gag. So apologies for anybody who likes it. I don't. Coke or Pepsi? Well, I grew up in Atlanta. And as a child, young child, in the mid to late 70s, I remember going into gas stations and not seeing Pepsi at all. In fact, I think I was like 5 or 6 maybe when I remember first seeing Pepsi in a gas station. So, naturally, there's an inclination there. And being from Atlanta, I think it's like kind of a law that you have to like Pepsi less. I took the Pepsi challenge once, and they were mad at me that I did not pick Pepsi. Yeah, Coke all the way. In a relationship, well, I do have a turtle. There's her picture. As far as girlfriend, no. I'm probably just too fucking weird and old. That's my theory at this point. Okay, question number 4. Whiskey, tequila, or vodka? None of the above, really. I'm not a drinker. My grandfather drank himself to death before I was born. Well, about the time I was born. He was an alcoholic. My uncle, on the same side of the family, he had a cocaine and alcohol problem for many years, and I never really had the desire. Don't like the taste of most alcohol, so none of them. I would say if I had to be pressed for one, whiskey, because my mom's from Kentucky, and, that's closer than tequila or vodka are, I guess. But I'll also agree with a certain bathrobe on this one, because he said mead, and I do have mead in my fridge, and I do have a little bit every once in a while. There's a meadery in it, Marietta, or Marietta if you're from there, which is north of Atlanta, and they make some really nice meads. It's called Viking Alchemist. I didn't like their cherry flavor, though. There's a little too strong on the cherry, but I found it was really good mixed with Coke. But as far as the regular or the blackberry, those I liked, so there you go. Favorite food? Yikes. I've been thinking about this one for like 2 days now, and I'm not sure. I don't really have a favorite probably, but some foods I do greatly enjoy are, I like Mexican cuisine, Italian, a lot of Chinese foods. I like spicy things especially, so I like Indian curries and Thai curries, things like that, stuff with some heat, buffalo wings. I do also like beta, which is what my grandmother called them, and I don't know if anybody else calls them that, but basically you take lefse, and Norwegian lefse, the kind my family makes, is flour, and it's very similar to tortillas, except it's slightly sweet. And in the beta, you put boiled potatoes, boiled fish, usually white fish like cod, and then some cheese, and you roll it up and eat it. You can also, for dessert, put butter and sugar on the lefse and roll it up. But that I do enjoy. We usually make lefse, the family, every Christmas, so that's one thing to look forward to. Okay, number 6. Hot dog or cheeseburger? Well, as a kid, I would definitely have said hot dog. I preferred hot dogs so much, and most fast food places didn't have them. Nowadays, I really think it depends. Sometimes I'm in the mood for one or the other. At fast food restaurants, of course, most don't still have hot dogs. They mostly serve hamburgers and cheeseburgers and stuff. So I like both, but on the grill, sometimes I like a good grilled hot dog better. But as far as if it's going to be cooked at home, usually hamburgers. Most restaurants, though, definitely have hamburgers and cheeseburgers. I'll pick those, but I'm kind of tight on that one. Morning drink. Well, I'm not awake during the morning. I am a night owl, and I don't go to bed till like 5 or 6 in the morning. I don't wake up till noon or later. So we'll say afternoon drink. Sometimes a Coke Zero. I used to do Coke sometimes when I go out of coffee, but my blood sugar had issues lately, and they think I'm maybe diabetic, so I'm avoiding sugar. Do I prefer Coke Zero? No, I tolerate it. It's okay. Yeah, but what I keep at home mostly to drink is milk, herbal teas, especially Sleepy Time and some of these celestial seasonings fruit teas, distilled water. That's about all I keep at home to drink. When I go out, usually I have a soda if I'm eating out, or sometimes sweet tea because I am in the South and that is kind of required. Can I do 100 push-ups? 1, 2, 3. I think I could go all day with that one. So as far as the way they're supposed to be done, probably not at this point. This shoulder has been injured a number of times, and the past 2 weeks I haven't been able to do this without feeling pain. It's gotten a lot better, but it still hurts. But my upper body strength sucks now because I haven't been able to work out in fucking forever to do such things. But no. But I can hit hard as shit because I got a lot of weight to throw around. So, all right. Favorite season? Easy. Fall. I like the temperatures of winter better in the South because I get hot very easily, and I like it very cold. But I like the atmosphere of fall better. Kind of the spooky, the leaves falling, Halloween, that sort of thing. 10. Favorite hobby? Probably those and those. Other things I might enjoy. I used to enjoy woodworking, but I don't have the tools, power tools I need for some of the things I used to do. I used to enjoy going for walks at night. Can't do that anymore. My knees suck, so I go for drives at night. I do enjoy that. Occasionally I write stories. I've been out of that for a while, like short stories and poems and such. But I don't have all that many hobbies particularly apart from those. I do a lot of random just things here and there. Okay, flip sheet. Number 11. Tattoos. Why, yes. Yes, I do. Okay, these need to be touched up. And I'll put a picture up here, what this one used to look like. Well, you think of it right. That was in the background of a dream I had about a female guardian spirit that I have. This is a Viking ship and 2 sea serpents, and unfortunately when we did that, it all bled together. We might be able to see some places where there were all individual circles. They were spaced apart to look like scales, and they all kind of bled together. But if you look at that sword on the guard, that's where this comes from. Okay? And that's most of what's on this arm. On this arm, we have the Valknut, and if you don't know of the Valknut, it's a modern term, and it appears on many rune stones, probably associated with Odin to some degree. Some people say death, but that's kind of not necessarily true. But the way I look at it is a strong Norse symbol that was associated with the old days somehow. Nowadays we associate with Odin, so in modern times we can say it's an Odinic symbol, even if it wasn't originally, because that's what most people know it as. You know, things change over time. So, but if you know anything about Norse mythology, the world tree, the universe essentially, has 3 lower worlds, 3 middle worlds, and 3 upper worlds. So 3 levels, 9 worlds. 3 sides, 3 triangles, 9 sides. And the dot in the middle is kind of representative of Odin's eye. And Odin plucked his eye out and gave it away to gain wisdom at one point, I remember as well. And as such, that's because I'm a philosopher, it's a symbol of wisdom. So, and these, of course, I need to be touched up. I'll see if I can see them. Looks like a G. I learned the Anglo-Saxon pronunciation of these runes. So, Gaifu, which is normally Gibu, Ur, which is Ur, and Tyr, which is Tyr, but you can't see them very well anymore at all. But it's kind of a upward arrow, and for Tyr, Ur is kind of like pi, but you can't see the top of it so much anymore in Gaifu, which is the X. They were the first 3 runes I ever learned. They were all pendants, 2 of which I had, one of which a friend of mine had at various points. Gaifu, gift to the gods, which is kind of like, if you're born without a leg, it's a gift. It's not a good gift necessarily, but it depends on what you do with it as to whether you use it to just sit around and cry all day, or if you somehow overcome that. Maybe you'll invent an artificial leg to help you that you can sell and help the world, this kind of thing. Or sometimes you're born with privilege. That can be a gift too, but privilege can corrupt people. Privilege can also make you a target. So a gift can be good or bad. It can seem good or bad at the beginning, sometimes even worse than it can become, but it's something to serve as a challenge, a motivation, a way to encourage people to find their path in life. Primal strength, or where the Urox gets its name from originally, the big, huge primordial ox. Inner strength, that sort of thing. And then Tyr was god of war, and also power. This is what the rune can represent, as I understand it. So they just happen to spell it G-U-T, gut. That's just coincidence. Now, as for other symbols on my arms that aren't, I got two more. That need to be touched up, but my tattoo artist died, so I haven't done it yet. It's a couple years ago, but I really haven't kind of found the right person to finish it for him. That's a design of a Viking shield. In fact, the logo of my channel, I do believe. So that's the shield. Looks like a ring. And then here, which of course if you touch up to, you can barely see it anymore. You can see the hilt and blade, which is a Viking sword. So to die, sword and shield in hand, great honor. So symbolically, always having sword and shield in hand. Let's see what else I got here. These 3 marks here on my wrist. Those are not tattoos. They're actually scars. And I hate doing it, but I do it every year. It's a personal vow to myself. I make 3 small cuts, not very deep. I make sure to go very shallow just to draw blood, but it's a kind of symbolic self-sacrifice saying I'm willing to shed blood for these things. And they stand for faith, family, and fortitude. In other words, those are my 3 vows to myself, to always keep faith, family, and fortitude and protect those things. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever noticed because nobody's commented, but this finger and this finger are always black. Sparing the whole story because this video is running on forever. Mourning for people I've lost and things I've lost. So there. Now, where were we? We're on tattoos. Where'd my paper go? Boop. Boop. Okay, tattoo. Glasses. Let me think about that. No, never. I don't wear glasses. I think they're terrible. They make you look stupid, and contacts are just so much more convenient. So I'd never do glasses. Phobias. Hey, giving out that one. I have a on and off again, sometimes phobia of water. Sometimes I get really freaked out in water or near water. Sometimes I can't even take a glass of water while I'm drinking. I have to close my eyes because it makes me very nervous, and I don't know why. Apart from that phobia, that's really my only major phobia, I would say. As far as things I'm afraid of, I'm kind of afraid of myself. I've had a lot of dissociative suicide attempts in life, which is where you kind of just see yourself doing stuff to yourself, but you're not in control. That's kind of freaky and scary. And I'm afraid of dying alone because I've had the same nightmare since I was about 4 years old, at least once a week my entire life, where I'm sick and on the floor of this old decrepit cabin and I'm dying very alone and isolated and nobody knows where I'm at. So those 3 things. It's getting way too fucking deep for one of my videos. I usually like to keep things light. Why ask me these questions? Nickname. Okay. Let's start with this. My channel name. Bathrobe said Asa-Punk. More like Osa or Asa. That's okay. I mean, I don't expect people to know, but I can't say it quite the way he did. But basically what it comes from is if the modern incarnation of the ancient Norse religion is pronounced Asatru, in Norwegian Osatru, in Icelandic Ausatru. So it's kind of the same thing with ASA. It has to do with the Esher gods, the gods under Odin, Thor, that set of gods, because there's 2 pantheons in Norse mythology. So Asa and Punk, because, well, I was into punk music in high school, and it's kind of been influential philosophically for me in life, and I don't tend to do things the way people want me to do and stuff like that. So kind of the punk with a capital P for like punk rock, not punk with lowercase p, like, hey, he's a fucking punk, like a bad person. So, but Asa-Punk, in other words, just pay respects to my Norse ancestry in that part that has influenced my life, and the punk rock, especially of the 80s, that influenced my life. So that's where it came from. As far as other nicknames, I started to make a list here of some of my names. Now, skipping out on my actual names, so I'm not really wanting to give them out in public. I have about 17 based on my real names, and on my nicknames and nicknames based on my nicknames and other nicknames that people give me. So far, I'm up to 18 on my list, but I didn't finish it, so I have a ton of nicknames. The one I mostly go by is Gerbil. I don't drink, and in high school I was babysitting drunks, and I was trying to keep them quiet. So we were playing that game where you come up with names for kids, and either you just make up a name or you pick a word that sounds like something else, right? Like some people say chlamydia sounds like it'd be a girl's name if it wasn't a horrible disease. So I just suggested Gerbil. I thought it had a nice sound to it. I thought it was kind of cool if it wasn't a small animal, but everyone wanted to associate with that. That was so problematic afterwards. But I originally was going to spell it Gerble to differentiate from the animal, and nobody I knew would spell it that way. So if I said, screw it, I'll spell it Gerbil. Then when I got to college, everybody started spelling it Gerble a few years after I got to college. I was like, really? So too late then. Anyway, favorite candy? Well, I don't know. Yes, I do, actually. Norwegian chocolate, the milk chocolate, or the Fjerkuluver. Pictures again. They're a Norwegian brand of chocolate and the two most popular bars over there. And I fell in love with them when I went to Norway. So there we go. Do I believe in ghosts? Sort of. And I'll say that because I don't believe necessarily that ghosts are like spirits of people risen again or some kind of residual thing like that. But I do believe phenomena occur that people will call ghosts. That could be various things. Sometimes, like when someone's air conditioning kicks on, the door slams shut, they're like, oh my God, it's a ghost. That's pretty easy to figure out. But sometimes I've come across people who've told me their house was haunted. I've gone there and things have gone on that I wouldn't necessarily say are supernatural, but certainly I can't find an explanation for. And maybe sometimes I witness something that might be beyond explanation. Maybe there are supernatural events. But in my experience, most things that people refer to as ghosts aren't what they think a ghost is. So I believe there are phenomena that are hard to explain or sometimes unexplained that certainly can affect people, scare them or whatever, that they'll call ghosts. So I believe there is a phenomenon that occurs that people refer to as, but not necessarily undead spirits roaming the earth. Biggest downfall, how long this video is taking. Secondarily, depression, schizoaffective disorder. Depression more so because I've had depression issues, like severe depression issues, since I was literally 3 years old. The first time I attempted suicide, I was 4 years old. So if you can't imagine that being a problem in life, you probably have not had depression. And I started having the hallucinations, delusions, things like that of schizoaffective disorder probably about the time I was 14 or 15 in high school. One of the biggest delusions I've had ongoing. Now, when I'm on a normal state of mind, I don't believe this at all. I know it's not real. When I start having issues, and if the issues go too long, I'll start questioning it. And when I get really pretty far gone, sometimes I really am convinced it's happening. And, well, first let me say, for those who don't know, a hallucination is when you're actively seeing, hearing, or feeling something. A delusion is basically kind of the same, but there's no sensory input. In other words, like, if I believe there's someone in the other room waiting to kill me, that's a delusion because I can't see or interact with it. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm seeing a person there thinking they're going to kill me, that's not their hallucination. But one of the longest standing delusions I have on and off is that there's a big rat that lives in my stomach, and I get paranoid that if I don't feed him enough, he'll eat his way out of me. And it's very problematic. Like I said, when I'm not in my right state of mind and get pretty far gone, I sometimes have really been convinced that's true. And it's not a good thing. That's a pretty big downfall. Now, if it turns out he is true and eats his way out, that's even going to be a bigger downfall. So let's keep our fingers crossed on reality winning on that one. Rain or snow? Well, I live in South Georgia. We generally don't get any snow. I prefer snow to an extent. I've been to Iowa when it snowed in a blizzard, and that sucked. Being snowed in, a few feet of snow. I like mild snow, where it's enough to have fun, go outside and play, maybe a few inches on the ground, makes the trees pretty, that kind of thing, but not the kind of snow they get up north someplace where it's feet and feet and feet. Rain, I don't mind. I like rainy days when they're gray and cold for sleeping, taking naps. I like to drive sometimes slowly at night in the rain when nobody's out, just kind of looking at the street lights. So I think a slight edge to snow in general, but rain's not so bad. Piercings. No, unless you count accidents with swords. One second. Where is it? Well, it's back there somewhere. This one. This sword I kind of hodgepodge together. It's a windless Greek sword blade. There's Xiphos with this guard grip from a flea market sword. Then I add this bulb from hardware store, which is really too big. I need to shape it down some. But you see how nice and pointy that is? Well, one day it was sitting on my bed, and I wasn't thinking and turned to grab something, and it slid off my bed and went pop, harpooned right in the back of my ankle, and the point of which got embedded in my ankle bone. And it was quite difficult to get out because it was in probably about a quarter inch into my heel. I wasn't bleeding that much from it, but I could not get it out. It was wedged in my bone. So that's probably my only piercing. Accidental. Age. 46. I had a girl the other day at Waffle House, a waitress, tell me that I was lying. I showed her my license, and she told me it was fake. So maybe the jury's still out. But 46 that I'm aware of. I was born in 74, which actually makes me older than Bathrobe. So I'm putting him in charge, though, because he seems to do adulting far better than I do. Fries or onion rings? Generally onion rings, unless they're crappy ones. Like Burger King suck at their onion rings, but some places are pretty good. If they're like nice hand-cut onion rings, but fries if they're not. Kids, they do exist. Do I have any? I don't actually know. I helped raise someone I used to be friends with child until, well, we won't discuss what happened there, but anyway, as far as my own kid, I actually don't know. I had a girlfriend in high school. We broke up. We became bed buddies for a few years. And one day she called me and told me she was pregnant. I was like, okay, what do I need to do? What's going on, And she's like, nothing. What do you mean, nothing? Well, then she tells me it might be her boyfriend's, which she'd never told me she had a boyfriend while we were sleeping together. So I was like, great. And then she told me that he'd gotten abusive with her, and she was kind of afraid of him. She was trying to keep away from him. She was in foster care at the time because her parents had kicked her out. He was looking for her, but she was pregnant. So what she was planning to do was have the kid, put the kid up for adoption with the father listed as unknown. That'd be that. After she had the kid, I heard the kid crying in the background of a phone call one time. That's close as I ever got. So the kid's gone. So I don't know if the kid was mine or not. But flash forward to about 18 years, and I was telling the story to some of my friends, and one of my friends was like, well, that kid would be like 18 now. So what would happen if you ran into her? I'm like, what are the odds, right? And I thought, well, this is my life. There's probably some odds. And sure as shit, a couple weeks later, I was in a local pizza joint in town near campus, and there was a girl there who looked like my ex, kind of acted, had the same mannerisms as my ex, blabbled off her whole life story to me like people randomly do for some reason. And she told me that she was going to the doctor in the next couple days because she had 2 of these semi-rare health conditions that were genetic that she was needing to get checked out. I mean, I know the conditions were genetic. She didn't say that part, but I knew they were genetic because my ex had the same conditions and so did her mom. I was like, holy fuck, this is probably that chick. Like, maybe. My gut was like, yeah, this is her, right? Well, I didn't ever get a chance to ask her, and she got fired and disappeared. I only saw her like 3 times, but in that 3 times, she was kind of flirting with me one night when I saw her drunk. I was like, oh, hell no, I need to talk to this chick because if she tries to kiss me or something and then I have to find out she's my daughter, that's no good. But I saw her like 3 times, did not get to ask her, and I don't remember her name. I've been trying to ask people who worked at the pizza place about it to see if I can track her down and find out, but come up nil on that one. Okay, favorite color, blue. Blue, like royal blue, like blue. Oh, I can't do blue. Yeah, like blue. However, I do often like to wear pink. A lot of people don't think guy color is pink. I don't know. Sometimes guy color is pink in history. Sometimes it was seen as diminutive red, as boys were seen as diminutive red, pink, men, boys. It seems like they're both diminutive. But regardless, I kind of like pink. Partly because a lot of people get really angry about it for some reason. I'm like, it's a freaking color. Who cares? But blue's my actual favorite color. Always has been. Okay. Can you sing? Yes, I have a playlist on my channel of times I've sung karaoke. So I'm told I'm okay at it. I think I sound like crap. But the videos are there as proof if you want to go check. Can you whistle? Out, in, off my teeth. So at least 3 ways I can whistle. I can't do the same with my teeth. Although, oddly, I had a dream about it just the other day when I was writing this list. That night I had a dream I learned how to do this, but I still can't. Where were you born? Somewhere on planet Earth. Okay, more specifically, in Atlanta, Georgia, at Northside Hospital, which is actually inside 285 now on the north side. So, there you go. So, am I from Georgia? Sort of. I'm from Atlanta, and culturally they're so different. I like to make that differentiation because South Georgia is very country, Atlanta is very mixed country and city, but they're 2 different cultures, so that's sort of not the same place. Okay. Can I swim? Last I checked, I haven't been in a while, but last time I went swimming in a river and there was a fairly strong current and I didn't drown, so. Can I cook? Yes, again, I have a playlist about that called The Broke Gourmet. It's on my channel. I can do it. Siblings, yes, 1. I have a sister. She lives in Florida. She has the weird name. I have the normal name on our birth certificates. She was the normal kid. I was a weird kid. I had all the health problems mentally. She had anxiety in college briefly, but that was about it. She works with abused and neglected children and is my hero because I could not do what she did, because if I had to deal with some of the parents that she's told me she had to deal with and things that have gone on, I would be in prison for murder. I'll just put it that way. Okay, religious. That's a weird. I'm a minister. Is that? Hang on a second. I'll show you that. Am I a minister? Because my dad said he wanted a Viking style funeral. I didn't think we'd be able to get anybody to do it professionally. Becoming a minister online is fairly simple. You fill out your basic information, and then voila, you're a minister. But nonetheless, where is that minister? No, that's a credit card. Where'd I put it? Ah, there it is. Yes. Oh, that's got my real name on it. So let's just cover that up and just have the last name there. But yeah, there's my credentials de minister. So, am I religious? I don't like the term religious because religion to me implies certain things. I go with life philosophy. Spirituals to a degree. Spiritual can be kind of vague, but my thing is I'm more concerned about living a good life and having the right morals and ways of doing things, but I really don't actually care if there are gods or not. If they're out there, great. If not, no. Does it really affect me directly so much? No. I mean, maybe more than I realize, but if that's the case, then I'll find out later. Right now I'm more worried about leaving this world a better place than when I came here, helping people, being good to the world, being good to people, that sort of thing. Oh, Lord, this is already 26 minutes. Okay, now, we're on the home stretch, though. Shower or bath? Shower if I'm in a hurry, bath if I want to relax. City or nature? City, because I grew up in Atlanta, I'm just used to that more. I do go camping sometimes with friends, and I used to like going, where I grew up in Atlanta, there was a lot of woods. There weren't many animals like deer in them, but there was a lot, surprising amount of woods just right near my neighborhood that are pretty dense. So I'm not opposed to nature, but I just find dark, dimly lit places like with those pink halogen lights, they just appeal to me more. There's something calming about that, whereas nature feels fine, but it doesn't have quite that same connection for me. Are you a good friend? To who? Who's asking? I probably am. People tell me I am. I don't know. I think I'm a horrible person. Most of my friends and people in this world I've met have told me they think I'm a good person. I really don't really think that, honestly. But sure. Broken bones. Not in my body. I have a few deer bones I found in the woods one time. They were broken. The only bones I think I may have broken were like my big toe, but it was probably more like a bad hairline fracture when someone dropped a very heavy object on my foot years ago and such. But no, I never actually. Surprisingly, I've never broken a bone. I've hit when I was skateboarding. I know I've hit the pavement, going like 20, 30 miles an hour on many occasions, but never broke anything. Like to dance. Used to. Knees gave out. Back got bad. Can't dance. Camping. I already addressed that with the nature thing, but yes, I do like to camp on occasion. We also used to go urban camping sometimes because we live in the city. We'd get like a bunch of our cars, string them together, put sheets over the top maybe, bring a little Coleman stove, find like a parking garage in an industrial park where no one's going to be for the weekend and just kind of, sit up there and kind of camp. Weird. Am I weird? No, not a bit, of course. No, not very. A lot of people tell me I'm normal, though. They do, but I don't think I am. I don't think I'm weird, like, in a bad way. I'm not like some creep. But I definitely don't do a lot of things the way other people do. I don't act the way, the way I run my life isn't like other people do. I do things kind of my own way, but that's that whole punk DIY kind of thing. It was always there in my life ever since I was a kid, but that's kind of why I connected with that. So, yeah, I think I'm weird, but other people don't always agree with me on that, so they can argue. Tag people. I'll try to figure out who I can tag. Most of the people on YouTube I know I watch. I don't actually interact with them. Jessica's done a ton of these, so I don't know if she'll want to do another one. But I'll try. I'll try to find some people to tag. One of my friends keeps saying he's going to start a YouTube channel, but it's been like 2 years running and he hasn't, so I can't do that. Okay, that was 38 questions. We didn't have 39 and 40, so I'll make some up. Do you drive a car? Yes. What's another question I can ask? Do you want to end this video at the 30-minute mark? Pretty much, because we're just about there. So, got about 30 seconds left. Hilson. And good night, folks.